Welcome to another Torah class here on NETIVonline.org. I really appreciate you joining us today. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it so right now. We would really greatly appreciate it. Today's parsha is Parshas Ve'echanan. Our theme today is divine revelation, responsibility, and the role of the nations. Setting the scene in this parsha is Moses' continuation of his final address to the Israelites. He recounts how he pleaded with God to enter into the land, but was denied. And if you'll remember in last week's class, if you had a chance to watch, well, it wasn't on YouTube. It was in the discussion portion of the class. As a matter of fact, if you don't and have not subscribed to the actual full class that is emailed each week, please do so. Go to the website at NETIVonline.org and on there subscribe to our weekly classes. What happens is you get the full unadulterated, all the discussions before and after class, nothing edited out, purely sent to you on your email. So if you'd like to join us, please do so. Now, I've backtracked a lot, so here we go. Moses last week pleads to Hashem to allow him to go into the land of Israel. And we had a discussion after class, and the discussion went like this. Why did Moses ask to go into the land of Israel when he was geographically already in the land of Israel? What was it that he wanted that he couldn't have already done in the land? Well, we obviously know that by living in the land for some period of time, by several years, to include a 50-year period of time or 70-year period of time, we know that Moses could have done just about every mitzvah that is accounted in the parsha. But is that really the reason why Moses wanted to go into the land? No, there are many different commentaries that state one reason or another why he wanted to be in the land. Nevertheless, one of the things that we sort of boiled the whole thing down to, this reality that Moses wanted to recount a special connection to God that he had on Sinai. And that special relationship with the Holy One, blessed be He, gave the Torah so that he would understand and be able to know the very essence of who God was. See, he asked to see the face of God, and God had him turn his face, Moses' face, to the wall or to the cliff to the rock and pass by. And immediately after passing by, he pointed Moses to the commandments that he had given. So in essence, the sages of blessed memory say that the very commandments of God, the Torah, is what actually gives us any insight into the unfathomable depths of the Holy One. God is one, and we see that he reminds the people of their covenant responsibility in this text, and culminating with this idea of the Shema, to hear, and the repetition of the Ten Commandments. The lesson for the nation here is the universal message of Torah revelation. Deuteronomy 4, verse 35, it says, "You were shown in order to know that Hashem, He is God. There is none beside Him." Moses recounts the Sinai revelation, a moment not only unique in Jewish history, but unprecedented in human experience. What makes this moment powerful is not just what was heard, that is the Ten Commandments, but that it was heard by the entire nation. For the nations, this offers a powerful affirmation. The Torah is not hidden in mystery given to one man in secret, but actually in public, a public revelation meant to be a testimony to the whole world. The ethical monotheism revealed at Sinai is a foundation not only for Israel, but for all of the world. Anyone who seeks to align themselves with God can do so. The world is flooded with competing ideologies and moral confusion. The message at Sinai stands as a light that truth can be known, and God desires to be known by people. There are many different religions in the world, ideologies, philosophies, etc. But there's only one God. There isn't multiple gods. Humanity doesn't get to choose who is God. There is only one God, the one source. It is by attaching ourselves to the knowledge of God through the Torah that we actually discover who he is. You see, Torah is wisdom for the nations. In Deuteronomy, the fourth chapter, verse 6, it says, observe them faithfully. He's talking to the Israelite people. Observe the Torah faithfully, for that will be your wisdom and discernment in the eyes of the nation. The Torah is not only commandments, it's the actual wisdom of God. God tells Israel that when they live according to the Torah, the nations will take notice. Torah becomes a beacon that draws others not through conquest, but through charity, justice, and the sanctity of life. For the nations, this is an invitation to learn from Israel, not to become Israel, not to replace them, but to walk in the light of Israel's covenant alignment with God's principles. On a practical note, studying Torah as a non-Jew is not a cultural appropriation. In our society, we have people screaming a cultural appropriation whenever someone does something that might be slightly taken upon another culture's customs, etc. This is not cultural appropriation to study the Torah or to claim to follow the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see, this is what we call spiritual alignment. There are many hundreds of thousands of people who are not Jewish in the world right now that have aligned themselves spiritually to the one true God, to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the God of the Jewish people. And the Torah's wisdom is meant to elevate, not exclude. You see, the Torah wisdom, or the wisdom contained in Torah, is for all of the people of the world. Next, we hear in the fourth verse of chapter 6 of Deuteronomy, Shema Israel. It is the universal call to hear. The words go this way: hear, O Israel, Hashem our God, Hashem is one. Now, we've learned from our rabbis that Shema is a very unique word. It doesn't just mean to listen or to incline your ear. It actually means to listen and do. You see, one who actually hears according to the Torah is one who has action assigned to their listening. It's almost like dealing with a child when you ask them to do something and then later you go to check and that is not done and you ask them, did you hear what I said? And their response is, yeah, I heard you. But if it wasn't done, they really didn't Shema. You see, Shema is a very powerful word that allows us or reminds us that we need to have action. Through the Shema, and though the Shema is for the state of Israel, its message is foundational for all of humanity. There's one God, not many. Not distant, not impersonal, but one true source for all humanity. The oneness of God implies the oneness of humanity under his kingship. There's only one God, and there is one creation, and we all fall under his guidance. For the nations, this becomes a call to unity under God's moral guidance, to reject idolatry and to develop a relationship with the one true creator. Now, here's a timely connection for us all. As a modern culture, we move toward moral relativism and spiritual disconnection. The Shema calls us back to the eternal center. The one God who is near, personal, and righteous is ready to speak to you. Are you ready to listen? The first thing that we also see that is important in this text is this idea of guarding your soul, a call to inner discipline. In Deuteronomy, the fourth chapter, verse 9, it says, only guard yourself and greatly guard your soul, lest you forget. Moses emphasizes that forgetting God is not a passive accident. It happens when the soul is not guarded. We all run into this problem in our own lives where the world of physicality gets us distracted and we forget that we are a soul. It's not a body that has a soul, that we are the soul. The person that you and I are in totality is the soul. We just happen to inhabit the body, and it's so easy to neglect the soul. For the nations, this serves as a call to intentional living guarding the mind, the heart, and our conscious. A relationship with God requires awareness and reflection and reverence in all of our lives. It's something that we have to take up as a personal mantle. We've got to apply that. Now, how do we guard our soul? The question I ask myself is, how am I guarding my soul every day? What are we consuming, tolerating, or ignoring that might lead to spiritual forgetfulness? Let me wrap up my presentation with this idea. A covenant of hope is what this parsha is, both retrospectively and looking forward. While Moses cannot enter into the land, he leaves behind a message that echoes to this very day. For the nations who come to study the Torah, this portion offers an invitation to Shema, come near, hear the voice that still speaks. Align yourself to the truth, to the eternal truth. Let the light of the Torah illuminate your path. And the way we can do that is by a few very simple things. First, affirm the oneness of God. Affirm that there is only one true creator of the universe. Meditate on the Shema daily to hear, what am I listening to? I talk to God a lot, but do I listen? Study the Noahide laws, the foundation of righteous living for non-Jews. The Torah was given to the Jewish people, but not for them to gatekeep, but to share with the nations. Today, rabbis all over the world are sharing to non-Jewish audiences the value and wisdom of the Torah. Engage in Torah with humility. You're joining a sacred conversation. Honor Israel's role. Recognize that the Jewish people are the stewards of the Torah and not the gatekeepers. Be a light yourself. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you living according to that great message of the Torah? I have a short story to share with you. Long ago, before the nations had borders and kings had crowns, the Creator looked into the soul of the world and saw a great darkness slowly creeping into the hearts of man. You see, they had forgotten. They'd forgotten who made them, who sustains them, and what it means to truly be human. So he summoned all the angels and Shemaim. He said, I will speak my word to the world, not in secret, but in a fire and thunder. Before all those people, I will choose a nation to carry it. A small nation, not a mighty one, so that no one will say the word was earned by strength, or through them the nations will learn to walk again in the light because of this small, humble nation. And so it was on the third day at the foot of Mount Sinai, Israel stood, trembling with bated breath, yet chosen. The heavens split and the mountain shook. Thunder did not come from the sky, but from the voice that spoke from nowhere and yet everywhere. It says that the very firmament around them, the Hebrew letters appeared and the Torah appeared. Ani Hashem, I am Hashem, your God. You see, the nations watched from their distant lands, from mountains and valleys. They felt the tremor in their bones, and some said, it's a storm. Others said, it's a war. But the wisest of them said, no, this is the sound of truth being born. Among these watchers was a seeker named Iran, a shepherd from the mountains of Arman. He was not born an Israelite, but he had always felt that there was something more, a single fire behind every star. When the news of the mountain reached this young man, he left his sheep and took a walking stick and began a long journey. He wandered from place to place, asking sages, soothsayers, priests, and prophets, what happened on this mountain of the Hebrews? Some laughed at him, mocked, and said, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. But a few whispered. What they whispered was this: the one God has spoken and Israel has heard. Iran walked for 40 days until he reached a small village near the border of his land. There he found a Jewish elder sitting beneath an olive tree reading from a scroll. "Tell me," Aaron asked, "what did your people hear on that day?" Said that the elder looked up, his eyes with deep memory. He said, "We heard God." Very simply, we heard God. "Why you?" Aaron asked. "Why not all of us?" The elder smiled. "Because we agreed to carry the fire, but the fire was never meant to be hidden. It was lit to illuminate the world. You, son of Aram, you too may feel its warmth. You too may learn its ways. You too can walk in its illumination." But I'm not one of you. I'm not part of the Jewish people. The elder responded, "But you are one of his," as he points upward. And that's enough to begin. The elder opened up the scroll and read this text from this parsha. "Guard your soul greatly, lest you forget the things your eyes have seen, and make them known to your children and to your children's children." And so Iran stayed and he studied. He learned the laws given to the nations. He prayed to the one who had no image. And when he returned to Aram, to his father and his land, he brought no idol, no sword, no crown. Only a light in his eyes and a scroll in his hand. His children built houses of peace, and his grandchildren taught justice to kings. And the flame that had been kindled on a mountain far, far away lit up the valleys of many lands. So the moral of the story is that the Torah was given publicly so that no one could say it belonged to only just one people. While Israel was chosen to carry it, the nations are invited to walk by its light. Those who seek truth, even from afar, are never turned away. Hashem always will incline his ear to anyone who calls out. For the flame of Sinai was never meant to burn on one mountain, but to illuminate the whole world at one time. May Hashem guide you in your walk with him. May you find that eternal flame of Torah. May you kindle the fire of your own soul. Shalom, shalom.